All right. Yeah, good morning. I appreciate that. It's going to be an awesome week. This is always an unbelievable week, our military appreciation. I mean, I obviously don't get to see everybody, but I can't imagine anybody does it better than Clemson, especially with our history and tradition and Memorial Stadium. So it's going to be awesome. I know we've got a general coming in to speak to the team on Thursday, so look forward to that. But just always a great week, and it's hard to believe we only got 2 home games left. So special opportunities, and this is going to be another one this weekend. So appreciate our crowd last week. I thought it was amazing, especially with the prediction of the rain. And Danny Poole kept telling me it was 80% chance, and I said, well, it's 20% chance it ain't going to rain. Nobody ever talks about that, and so that counts too. So it ended up being a beautiful night in the Valley, and hopefully this will be another great weekend this weekend. But look forward to playing Wofford. You know, Wofford is obviously a local school here, and be a fun day. Hopefully, I'm sure they'll bring a lot of fans as well, and be a fun day. And you know, we've played one of these games every year in state. I think it's been really good for our state, and you know, it's an opportunity for both teams, and so we're excited about it. Looking at Wofford, not really excited about having to stop them. They do a great job, incredibly well coached, and you know, everybody thinks of Wofford, and you just think of the option, and they are an option football team, but they have a unique way of getting to it. You know, they don't just line up and, you know, run the triple option. They're mostly in the shotgun, and lots of different personnel groupings, lots of formations, lots of misdirection. They don't always have a dive player, but somehow or another you get a little bit lulled to sleep, because sometimes they look like a spread team, but yet they get to their option principles with the jets, and everything goes through those big backs, 21 and 11, and the quarterback. So basically they're a 3-back offense all the time, but they'll get in multiple personnel groups, whether it be 20 or 12 or 11 or whatever, you know, so just know what they're doing, and force you to be really disciplined, and you can't try to do too much. They don't throw the ball a lot, but you know, they can get some guys open on you in a heartbeat, but they force a lot of space plays, and they got some good guys that can make you miss in space. Both these backs are really good players. That little number 3 they got, he's just tiny, and but fast and quick. You know, and finding him is not always the easiest thing. He's also their punt returner, averages 24 yards a punt return. So just a really, you know, dangerous guy. So just looking forward to it. And defensively, same thing. I mean, but if you look at them statistically, I think there's 125 FCS schools. So I always kind of like to see where they rank up nationally, you know, against their peers. And you know, they're 16th in scoring offense. They're 24th in scoring defense. They're the number 2 rushing offense in the country. They're the 13th rushing defense in the country. And they're 11th in the country in total offense and 11th in total defense. So this is a really good FCS team. And so that I know will be pumped up and excited to play Clemson. And for us, it's really just about, you know, playing well and continuing to build the momentum that we've had. I think after 8 games, we've had an excellent season, and you know, we really have played some good football, you know, all year long. And to be 8-0 at this point is where we wanted to go. We're kind of clicking into November now, and you know, that's what we call our championship phase, an opportunity to we're competing for our division. Obviously, we'll have a state championship, and if you can win your division, you get a chance to play for the ACC. And so that's really what we focus on, and whatever comes from postseason comes. But you know, it's an exciting time. I'm proud of our team. I really am. Defensively, you know, this is the best we've been in a long time after 8 games. Not giving up many points, playing with great discipline, playing with a lot of effort. We've developed depth on this football team. We've developed good chemistry on this team. The leadership has been outstanding. And then offensively, we've never had an offense that's averaged 250-plus rushing and passing, ever. You know, never. And I think us and Oklahoma are the only two offenses that are doing that. And again, you've got a lot of these games where, these fourth quarters have gotten away, and, we could easily skew the stats even more so than what they are. But we play a lot of guys. That's a part of developing our team. And so I'm just super proud of our staff and these players and what they've been able to accomplish to this point, because it's really hard to win football games and to be able to do what we've done on both sides of the ball. So we're in a good place as we head into November. But, man, everybody's got to be a little bit better, and just a little bit better from everybody, us as coaches, every support person, because, man, the air gets a little colder, gets a little thinner the higher you climb. Competition is tough, and guys get banged up, and you got to have the guts to press forward. And so I'm excited about seeing this team just continue to work. And we had a really good practice yesterday, and I know this is a team that doesn't necessarily match up well with us on paper, but as I always say, we don't play the game on paper. You play the games, and there's plenty of history of FCS teams beating FBS teams. So, we just want to just continue developing our team and playing well, and that's our objective for this week.
Coach, what do you remember about that 2011 game against Wofford?
Getting booed coming off at halftime. I don't know, what was it, like 10-10 or maybe 10-7 or something? Maybe we were up by a field goal or something, but getting booed. Everybody telling Coach Morris to go back to high school. Heard that a few times. That's why I shouldn't hire a high school coach. Heard that a couple times. That's probably what I remember more than anything. Oh, I take that back. I remember them having the most open guy in college football history. That big, tall kid, that white kid that caught that ball, he was so wide. I mean, he was so wide open. And he could have walked. He literally backpedaled to catch it and then backpedaled to the end zone for 50 yards. He was so wide open. I do remember that. Probably should have got an ESPY that year for most wide open, wide out. They were tough, man. They were tough. That was a tough day. And they had a big old running back. I can't remember that kid's name. He was a great player. He was a sledgehammer, fullback, running back guy. That's about it. But we won. I remember that more than anything. We won. Played a little better in the second half. Taj Boyd. We were trying to figure out who kidnapped our quarterback. Chad was about to go crazy in the locker room. I don't know what happened. I don't know. The quarterback I don't know. Yeah, he was just going crazy in there. But Taj settled in, and we got it going there in the second half. They played us tough. I mean, that's the way it is. What was Alabama and Citadel last year, right? What were they, 10-10, 14 all? I mean, these games ain't easy. Everybody thinks you just roll out there and win. You got to play well, and especially when you're playing these teams that their scheme kind of neutralizes you a little bit and is advantageous in some of in games like this. So it'll be a good challenge. And again, for us, we just want to go out and play clean football and continue to build momentum.
A couple times after the game, since Saturday's game, that a couple guys thought last week of practice was one of the best that you guys have had so far this season. I'm wondering if you agree with that and kind of what goes into
it was good. It was good. I mean, I think we've had great practice all year. Really, I thought probably the only week, North Carolina is the only really week that I have any recollection. I thought Wednesday we had a bad practice on defense, and Thursday we had our worst day on offense for a Thursday practice. Nothing alarming, but that just stuck out to me. And then we didn't play very well in that game. But outside of that, we really have practiced well all week. All year. These guys have been awesome. They really have. But last week it was a very good practice. I thought we had, especially defensively on Friday, it was really good. It was really good focus on that end, and guys were excited to play, and we're just getting better. We're getting better. We know more. We're more knowledgeable. We're a young team. A lot of guys have developed over this, from July 31st when we started to whatever it is now. It's just been a lot of development that has taken place in this team, and guys are kind of some guys are kind of over the hump a little bit.
How has Davis Allen performed these past 3 games with more snaps, and is he someone that's maybe close to gaining your trust in more situations?
No, he's gained my trust. I mean, I play him any situation. He's took a while to get him healthy, and he missed all of camp basically. So mentally, he had to kind of catch up. But physically, he's an incredibly trustworthy guy. He's got good ball skills. He's a big, strong kid. He's fundamentally really sound, good technique. He had a couple key blocks this past week. Did a great job on our screens and space, covering guys up. He's physical, so he's just a really good football player. He was an athlete. He played defense. He played offense. Obviously, he was a pitcher. He's a good basketball player. His dad was a really good linebacker at Georgia. I mean, he's just got a lot of natural stuff that comes to the table with him. And but now that he's played and gotten some experience, he's just moving with more confidence in everything that he does. So really, really proud of him, and that's allowed us to kind of hit the pause button on Jalen just a little bit. Because it's just hard to get them all the type of reps that we want. Really, the guy that's kind of changed the plan is Price. Luke Price has really become a good player for us. He does a lot of dirty work that maybe not show up on the stat sheet, but he's a good football player. He's tough, physical. He's incredibly strong, explosive power, and so we just didn't know, because we just moved him in the spring. He was a linebacker, and just didn't really know how he would project and how quickly he would make a transition. But I tell you, Luke has been a blessing for us and worked hard this summer, had a great camp, and so his emergence, JC's done a really nice job for us. I'm really proud of him, and then Luke coming on, and then with Davis coming back, and again Davis just functionally just a little ahead of Jalen. And Jalen has been great. Jalen has been right there. He's been incredibly improved and could easily play. We've played him in 3 games, but where we are right now, we're just kind of holding him a little bit, because if Braden wasn't coming back, then it would be a no-brainer. We'd have to play him. But if we can, that gap's kind of closing between, when Braden gets out of jail to now, it's shrinking. So if we can get by, it'd be really beneficial to our team, but also beneficial to Jalen going forward. So that's kind of where we are, and so we'll see. So we're trying to save that game for between now and December, and be strategic. And when we use that, and he's a couple other guys that are kind of in that same situation that. We're trying to be strategic with and see what happens. But, it's a good group, and Davis has allowed us that flexibility.
Rook got in his 4th game this week. Have you guys made a decision with him?
Rook will play. Rook will play as we go on through the season. Just a big body, and I know, again, sometimes you don't get to play some of them as much as you want, but he's just a guy that we feel like we need. Just to kind of have in there for some depth and just continue bringing him along. He didn't even start playing football till like the 10th grade, or might have been the 11th grade. So he hadn't played a lot of football, so he's just learning every day. And naturally, he's got some really good gifts. He's just a big body. He's physical and disruptive. He's strong, but he's just still learning. But he'll continue to be ready to play as we go.
Not just this weekend for Wofford in its option offense, but the performance from Jordan and Niles so far this year, and what they brought to the table, and what they've got to do on Saturday, obviously, to help out.
Yeah, well, first of all, they both have been good leaders. They've been great for the room. They've been really good for the young guys, and I wish they could have gone through spring, especially Jordan, because he's a little younger. And Niles has been awesome. And Niles is coming off back-to-back really good games, very productive, grading very well, just doing a lot of the little things right. He's a really good player, and so he's probably a little under the radar right now, if you will. But Niles Pinckney is doing a great job. And then Jordan has had his moments, not quite as consistent as Niles. But Jordan's a third-year guy, and Niles is a fourth-year guy. So there's still a little bit of a gap there, but Jordan's done some really good things. But just need him to be a little more consistent. But he's a hard worker. His attitude is off the charts. He's been a good leader. But there's more there from him. He's still an improving, learning player. So I'm proud of him. But both those guys have done a really good job.
Tyler Davis has played so well this season. How well do you think he'll handle seeing kind of a different kind of offense this week?
Oh, he'll be fine, because this is, he's disciplined. He's a guy, you give him a job, he's going to do his job. And this is a do-your-job game. This is not one of those stat games where you kind of, get low to do my job, and then I'm going to try to get in on somebody else's job. That'll cost you in a game like this. So Tyler, that's why he's been a starter for us. Incredibly disciplined, and obviously talented, but very knowledgeable, very disciplined, and he'll be just fine. But we do have a lot of young guys kind of playing in their first true option type scheme here. So it'll be interesting to see how those guys respond.
We said great